Ladies, let me tell you something real. Forget the games, forget the tricks, forget the endless rules they throw at you. There is one move, one powerful shift that will not only catch a man's attention, but keep it. It's not in the way you look. It's not in the things you buy. It's in the way you show up. And when you master this, you don't chase love. Love chases you. Confidence is the silent language that speaks before you ever open your mouth. You can walk into a room wearing the most expensive dress, the highest heels, or the perfect shade of lipstick. But if you enter that same room with your head lowered, your shoulders slouched, and your eyes avoiding connection, all that beauty gets lost. On the other hand, step into that room with presence, stand tall, look people in the eye, and move like you belong. And suddenly, everyone notices you. That's the truth about attraction. Men don't fall for the outfit. They fall for the energy. Appearance might spark attention, but confidence is what keeps attention burning. It's the difference between someone who is looked at for a moment and someone who is remembered forever. What does confidence really mean? It's not arrogance. It's not pretending, and it's not being loud for the sake of being noticed. Confidence is quiet assurance. It's the ability to know your value without having to announce it. It's a calm strength that says, I don't need to compete. I don't need to prove myself. I know who I am. That kind of energy draws men in because it creates curiosity. Men look at a woman who carries herself with confidence and think, what makes her so sure of herself? What does she know about life that I don't? Confidence creates mystery, and mystery creates desire. And here's the key. It doesn't come from makeup, money, or followers. It comes from the inside out. Think about the women in your life who truly stand out. Chances are, it's not always the one with the perfect body or flawless face. It's the one who carries herself as if she doesn't need validation from anyone. When she walks, she owns her steps. When she speaks, her voice doesn't shake with doubt. When she sits in a crowd, she doesn't shrink into the corner. She claims her space. That woman might not even match society's definition of ideal beauty. Yet somehow, she always has men drawn to her. Why? Because confidence outshines appearance every single time. Men may notice beauty, but confidence is what makes them stop and stare. Confidence is also contagious. When you radiate it, you invite others to feel at ease around you. Imagine being on a date. One woman might sit there constantly worrying about whether she looks good, if she said the right thing, or if she's being judged. Another woman walks into the same date with the mindset, I am here to enjoy myself, to have fun, and to be true to who I am. Who do you think the man is going to remember? The first woman's nervous energy makes the entire evening tense, while the second woman's calm confidence allows him to relax, open up, and be himself. That is the kind of experience men fall for, not just beauty, but the feeling a confident woman creates in their presence. But here's where many women misunderstand. Confidence doesn't mean being perfect. You don't have to have every detail of your life figured out. You don't have to be the smartest, the most successful, or the most glamorous. Confidence means embracing where you are right now, flaws and all. It means saying, yes, I have scars. Yes, I've made mistakes. Yes, I've struggled, but I'm still here, I'm still growing, and I'm proud of that. Men aren't drawn to perfection. They're drawn to authenticity wrapped in confidence. That kind of realness is refreshing in a world filled with filters, facades, and fake smiles. Finally, confidence sets the tone for respect. A man may be impressed by beauty, but he falls for the woman who respects herself enough to carry confidence into every situation. Confidence teaches him how to treat you. If you approach love and life with insecurity, constantly questioning your worth, you invite a man to treat you as less than you are. But when you live in confidence, you send a message: I know who I am, I know what I bring, and if you want to be part of my life, you better rise to meet me there. That unspoken standard doesn't push good men away. It pulls the right man closer, because he sees your value and knows he has to step up to keep it. There is a power in feminine energy that cannot be denied. It is soft, nurturing, and warm, but it is also magnetic, irresistible, and unforgettable. Too often, women are told they have to choose, either be strong and independent, or be soft and feminine. But here's the truth: real attraction comes when you master both. Feminine energy is not about weakness, it is about balance. It's about being open, kind, graceful, and compassionate, while also holding the strength to never settle for less than you deserve. And when a man sees that balance, it makes him fall, not just for your beauty, but for the essence of who you are. Feminine energy has always been the secret key. Think about it. A man can meet dozens of women, but the one who stays in his heart is the one who carries herself with both warmth and inner fire. She can smile in a way that makes him feel safe, yet she can also look him in the eyes in a way that reminds him she cannot be played with. This is the balance. A woman who is nurturing enough to listen, but strong enough to walk away if respect is missing. Men are drawn to that combination because it awakens both their protective instinct and their admiration. They don't just want to hold her, they want to honor her. Now, let's break it down. Feminine energy is expressed in how you receive. It is about allowing love, kindness, and effort to flow toward you without resistance. Too many women have been told to give your time, give your energy, give your heart until you're drained. But true feminine energy understands that receiving is also a form of power. When you allow a man to give, whether it's his attention, his effort, or his affection, you are not being needy. You are showing him that his role in your life has value. That doesn't make you weak. It makes you magnetic. Because the truth is, men want to give. They want to feel like they are contributing to your happiness. When you receive with grace, you unlock that desire in them, but feminine energy without strength is incomplete. This is where many women get trapped. They give softness without boundaries, and when you give softness without limits, people take advantage. Strength is what protects your feminine energy. Strength says, I will love you, I will support you, I will care for you, but I will not lose myself in the process. Strength is setting standards. It is saying no when you need to. It is walking away when respect is absent. It is the fire that burns quietly beneath your softness, reminding anyone who gets close that your heart is not to be taken lightly. This is the side of you that commands loyalty. Imagine being with a man who sees this duality in you. On one hand, you bring peace. You're the calm after a storm, the safe place he can come to when the world feels heavy. But on the other hand, you're not afraid to challenge him, to call him higher, to demand the respect you deserve. That kind of woman changes a man. She doesn't just make him fall, she makes him grow. And trust me, when a man grows because of you, when he becomes better because of the strength and softness you bring, he will never forget you. That's when love shifts from temporary attraction to lifelong devotion. Too often, society has tried to convince women that strength means shutting off their feminine side, that to be powerful, you must become hard, unemotional, untouchable. But that is not true strength. That's a defense mechanism. Real strength is when you can remain soft in a world that tried to harden you. It's when you can love without losing yourself. It's when you can trust again, even after betrayal, because you know your worth can never be destroyed. That balance of softness and strength is what makes you radiant. Men don't just want it, they crave it. So remember this: feminine energy is not submission, and strength is not dominance. Feminine energy is the grace to receive love, and strength is the courage to protect it. Together, they create a woman who is unforgettable, a woman who is cherished, a woman who doesn't need to demand respect, because her very presence commands it. That's the move that makes any man fall, the ability to be soft enough to be loved, and strong enough to never be broken. In a world full of masks, filters, and perfectly curated versions of life, authenticity has become rare, and rare things are always the most valuable. Too many women feel the pressure to perform, to fit into some mold of what they think men want, or to hide the parts of themselves that they fear won't be accepted. But here's the truth: pretending might get someone's attention, but it will never win their heart. Authenticity is what makes love real, lasting, and powerful. It is the one quality that separates women who are remembered for a moment from women who are remembered for a lifetime. Think about it. How many people spend their lives exhausting themselves trying to be someone else? They talk differently, they act differently, they wear what they think will impress, and they hide the things that make them unique. At first, maybe it works. Maybe they catch someone's eye. But eventually, the act crumbles, because no one can pretend forever. And when the truth surfaces, so does disappointment. That is why authenticity matters. When you are real from the start, when you show up as yourself, the quirks, the laughter, the flaws, the brilliance, you create a connection built on truth. And truth always outlasts illusion. Authenticity is magnetic because it is freeing. A woman who is comfortable in her own skin doesn't need to chase anyone. She doesn't need to constantly calculate every move or word. She simply is, and that kind of freedom is powerful. Men fall for it because it is rare. They look around and see so many people trying to copy trends, trying to be perfect, trying to blend in. But when they encounter a woman who embraces her individuality, it stands out. It feels refreshing, it feels honest, and honesty creates trust, which is the foundation of love. Now, here's something important. Authenticity doesn't mean oversharing everything about yourself all at once. It doesn't mean telling your whole life story on the first date or exposing your vulnerabilities without boundaries. Authenticity means alignment. It means the way you act on the outside matches who you are on the inside. If you value kindness, you show it. If you love humor, you laugh freely. If you have dreams, you speak about them proudly. You don't shrink your personality to fit in. You don't mute your voice to avoid judgment. You stand in your truth. That alignment is what makes people feel safe around you. Because when you are consistent, people know they can trust you. Men, especially, notice authenticity because it feels different. Imagine a man sitting across the table from two women. One is trying to say all the right things, agreeing with everything, trying so hard to be liked. The other is relaxed, laughing when something's funny, challenging him when she disagrees, and not afraid to let her personality shine. Who will he remember? Not the one who blends in, but the one who is unapologetically herself. Authenticity creates chemistry that can't be forced. It creates attraction that goes deeper than looks. And here's the most beautiful part: authenticity gives permission. When you are authentic, you encourage others to be authentic too. A man may enter guarded, holding back, trying to impress. But when he sees you are genuine, it gives him permission to drop the act as well. Suddenly, the conversation becomes real. The connection becomes stronger. Instead of two people pretending, there are two people truly meeting. And that is the kind of moment that makes someone fall, not for a performance, but for a person. So many women believe they have to be perfect to win love, but perfection is boring. Perfection is exhausting. What men really fall for is the woman who is real, the one who doesn't hide her quirks, the one who can laugh at herself, the one who embraces her imperfections instead of running from them. Because at the end of the day, perfection is intimidating, but authenticity is inviting. Perfection makes people feel judged, but authenticity makes people feel accepted. And love is not built on intimidation. It is built on acceptance. That's why authenticity wins every time. It's the courage to say, "This is who I am." Take it or leave it, and the right man, the man who is truly meant for you, will not only take it, he will treasure it. Because when you're authentic, he knows what he has is real, and real is what makes a man stay. Respect is the foundation of every healthy relationship. Without it, love cannot last, attraction cannot grow, and commitment cannot survive. The truth is, people treat you the way you teach them to treat you. If you allow disrespect, excuses, or mistreatment, that becomes the standard. But if you set clear boundaries, if you carry yourself with self-respect, you send an unshakable message. This is who I am, this is what I deserve, and if you want to be part of my life, you must rise to that level. That standard doesn't push good men away. It pulls the right man closer. So many women fall into the trap of lowering their standards for the sake of keeping someone around. They accept broken promises, half-hearted effort, or inconsistent attention because they're afraid of losing love. But here's the reality. If you have to lose your respect to keep someone, that's not love, it's control. A man may stay when you accept less, but he won't admire you. And admiration is what turns attraction into devotion. Respect is not about demanding, it's about demonstrating. It's about showing through your actions, not just your words, what kind of treatment is acceptable in your world. Respect begins with self-respect. It starts with how you talk to yourself, how you carry yourself, and how you prioritize yourself. If you constantly put yourself last, if you settle for crumbs, if you silence your voice to keep peace, you're sending a silent signal that you don't believe you're worthy of more. And trust me, men can feel that. On the other hand, when you hold your head high, when you live with integrity, when you demand consistency not by begging but by walking away from anything less, you create a powerful aura. Men see that and instantly know, this is not a woman I can play with. This is a woman I need to honor. Here's the secret. Men don't fall for women they can disrespect. They may use them, they may waste their time, but they don't fall for them. Falling in love requires admiration, and admiration is born from respect. When a man looks at you and sees someone who stands for something, someone who has unshakable values, someone who will not compromise her worth, that's when he feels both challenged and inspired. He may be attracted to beauty, but he becomes devoted to respect. That's why some women are pursued endlessly. They've set the standard so high that being with them feels like a privilege, not a convenience. Respect also means boundaries, and boundaries are not walls. They're doors with locks. You choose who gets access, and you decide under what conditions. Boundaries are not about shutting people out. They're about protecting your peace and your value. When you say no to disrespect, you're not being difficult. you're being wise. When you refuse to accept inconsistency, you're not being needy, you're being clear. A man who truly values you will respect those boundaries because he understands they come from a place of self-love. And if he can't handle them, he was never meant to stay. Think about it this way. Every time you lower your standards, you teach someone that they don't have to give their best. But every time you uphold your standards, you teach them that only their best is welcome. Men rise to the standard you set. The right man doesn't run when he sees your respect. He rises when he sees it. Because respect is not about pushing people away, it's about filtering out the wrong ones so the right one has space to enter. So, let's be clear. The move that makes a man fall is not chasing him, begging him, or pleasing him at your own expense. The move is respecting yourself so deeply that he can't help but respect you in return. When you set the standard, you don't have to demand loyalty. It flows naturally. You don't have to demand effort. It shows up willingly. You don't have to demand love. It grows out of the admiration he feels for the way you respect yourself. That's the kind of love that lasts because it's built on a foundation that cannot be shaken. Communication is the heartbeat of connection. Without it, relationships suffocate. But there's more to communication than just speaking words. It's about how you speak, what you reveal, and what you allow to remain unsaid. Too often, women think they need to explain everything, pour out every detail of their lives, or constantly prove their feelings to keep a man interested. But here's the truth. Love is not built on overexposure. It's built on curiosity, on discovery, on the rhythm of revealing just enough to keep him leaning in. That's where the balance of communication and mystery comes in. Let's be clear, mystery is not about playing childish games. It's not about manipulation, ignoring calls to make him chase, or pretending you're too busy when you're not. That kind of behavior is not mystery, it's immaturity. Real mystery is about pacing. It's about sharing your truth in layers, like turning the pages of a book one chapter at a time. When a man feels like there's always more to discover about you, he stays intrigued. He doesn't just fall for the words you say, he falls for the depth you hold. Communication, when done with authenticity, creates intimacy. It builds trust and understanding, but too much, too soon, can rob a relationship of its natural rhythm. Think about it. If you read the last page of a novel first, would you enjoy the story the same way? No. You'd miss the journey, the surprises, the moments of discovery that make it meaningful. The same applies in relationships. When you reveal everything at once, your past, your fears, your dreams, your whole story, you leave no space for curiosity. Men by nature are drawn to discovery. They want to peel back the layers, earn your trust, and feel like they are unlocking something special. Mystery keeps the fire alive. At the same time, communication is what keeps love real. Mystery without communication becomes distance. If you are always guarded, always silent, always holding back, a man may lose interest because he feels shut out. That's why balance is so important. Share your feelings, but don't overshare your entire soul before trust is built. Be honest, but don't rush to explain every detail. Let conversations breathe. Let curiosity exist. Allow him to ask, to pursue, to wonder. That space between what's known and what's yet to be discovered. That's where attraction grows. Picture this: a woman on a date who fills every silence with nervous talking, explaining every detail of her life, trying to prove she's worthy. Compare that with a woman who speaks with ease, answers questions with depth, but doesn't give everything away at once. She listens as much as she talks. She shares parts of her life, but leaves room for him to discover more over time. Which one keeps a man engaged longer, The second one, without question, because she's not rushing the connection. She's letting it unfold naturally. And here's another truth. Communication with mystery isn't just about words. It's about energy. Sometimes it's the way you pause before answering, the way you hold eye contact a little longer, the way you let silence sit without scrambling to fill it. Silence, when paired with confidence, is powerful. It makes him lean in, it makes him wonder, it makes him want more. Communication isn't only about what you say, it's also about what you don't say. Mystery lives in those pauses, those glances, those moments where he realizes, this woman is not giving me everything at once. She has depth I haven't even seen yet. This is not about withholding. It's about valuing yourself. You are not a book that anyone gets to skim through in one sitting. You are a novel worth reading slowly, savoring every chapter. Communication with mystery is your way of reminding a man that he needs to earn the privilege of knowing you fully. And when he does, when he patiently uncovers those layers, the bond he feels will be stronger because it wasn't rushed. It was built. So remember this, talk but don't overshare, be open but not desperate, be real but not predictable, let him know you but let him discover you too. That balance between communication and mystery is what keeps attraction alive long after the first meeting. It's the spark that turns conversations into connections, and connections into love. The most irresistible move a woman can make has nothing to do with romance at all. It's having a life filled with purpose beyond love. Too often, women are taught that their entire value is tied to whether they are chosen, pursued, or loved by a man. But here's the truth. The most magnetic women are the ones who already have something driving them, fueling them, inspiring them long before love arrives. A man doesn't fall hardest for the woman who makes him her whole world. He falls hardest for the woman who has a world of her own and chooses to share it with him. Purpose is powerful because it communicates self-sufficiency. A woman with purpose is not waiting to be rescued, validated, or completed. She knows who she is, she knows where she's going, and she knows her life has meaning beyond anyone's presence. That doesn't mean she rejects love. It means she doesn't depend on it for her identity. And that distinction is what makes her captivating. A man can sense the difference between a woman who needs him to feel whole and a woman who desires him, but could still stand strong without him. Men fall for the second woman because her independence makes her presence a choice, not a necessity. Think about the people you admire most in life. They are not the ones who cling desperately to relationships for meaning. They are the ones who wake up with passion, who pursue dreams, who make an impact. That kind of energy is magnetic when you have purpose, whether it's your career, your art, your passions, or simply your growth. It gives you a glow that no makeup or fashion can replicate. It gives you direction, focus, and depth. Men don't just see you as attractive. They see you as inspiring. They want to be around you because your purpose challenges them to rise higher, to match your fire. Here's what many forget. Love is not meant to be your identity. It's meant to be your addition. Relationships should add to your life, not replace your life. When your whole world revolves around a man, you unintentionally suffocate both yourself and him. But when you have a life full of dreams, goals, friendships, and growth, love becomes a beautiful part of the picture, not the entire canvas. That balance keeps the relationship healthy because it gives both partners room to breathe, to grow, and to admire each other as whole individuals. Purpose also protects you. When your only focus is love, you risk staying in relationships that don't serve you, simply because you fear losing everything. But when you have a vision for your life, when you know you were made for more, you refuse to settle for love that diminishes you. Purpose reminds you that your worth doesn't begin or end with a man's attention. It keeps you grounded in moments of uncertainty and strong in moments of heartbreak. And that resilience, that inner strength, is something men deeply admire, even if they don't always say it. Imagine the difference between two women, one who has no goals outside of a relationship and one who has her own passions, her own projects, her own ambitions. The first woman may be attractive at first, but over time, her dependence makes the connection heavy. The second woman, however, is like a flame, bright, inspiring, alive. Being with her feels exciting, not draining. A man doesn't just want to date her, he wants to partner with her because her purpose elevates the entire relationship. That is the kind of energy that makes him fall, not just for her beauty, but for her mind, her drive, and her vision. So here's the truth. Your purpose is not a distraction from love. It's what makes love stronger. When you bring a full life to the table, when you have passions that ignite you, when you wake up with goals that fuel you, you don't lose yourself in a man. You share yourself with him, and that difference changes everything. Because men don't want to be the reason you exist. They want to be the one who gets to walk beside you while you live out your purpose. So, what's the move that makes any man fall? It's not a trick, it's not a game, and it's not about losing yourself to keep someone else. It's about stepping fully into your worth. It's the way you carry confidence that outshines appearance, the way you balance softness with strength, the way you stay authentic in a world of masks, the way you set standards through self-respect, the way you communicate with both honesty and intrigue, and the way you live with purpose bigger than love itself. When you embody that, when you love yourself so fiercely that it shows in every step you take. Don't chase love, you attract it. And the man who is meant for you will not just fall. He will rise to meet you,